Alright, so now that we're halfway throughout the NFL offseason, we are officially a few months away from starting a new one. Means the rookies from the 2024 NFL draft class will now be sophomores as we get new rookies coming in the league. So now I would like to take the time to actually look back at the 2024 draft class and personally grade it myself 1 year later. I think there were definitely a lot of picks that did not match your hype or match the expectations they were given. I think there were picks that overdid their expectations. My point is, it was a really good class, so I just want to look at it and give you my grades personally. Quick disclaimer, I am not a professional by all means, this is just all my personal opinion. If I get a player analysis wrong and if you believe my grade shouldn't be this, let me know down below in the comments what it should be instead. I would really love to hear your opinion. All I ask you, do drop a sub if you are new here. I like to at least get a video out every week. I mean, it's the off season, I'm trying my best here. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the grading. And with the first overall pick, the Chicago Bears go Caleb Williams. Alright, look, Caleb Williams struggled in his rookie season. A lot. Often holding on to the ball too long and missing open receivers a good amount of times. Which leads to me saying anything other than he had a mediocre season is just generous. But I'm not going to say it's all his fault or Fields would have done any better like some people would, or that he's the worst in the league. I mean, having 2 different head coaches and 3 different offensive coordinators in the same season are bound to fuck you up. Like with the negative, you also have to look at the positive and say he's got potential to be the best quarterback yet. I just think people are going to compare him to Daniels' instant success, blowing past all expectations, or even that Bo Nix did a lot better. Stuff like that really doesn't help Caleb's mediocre rookie year look any better than it was. It's like comparing a Stroud situation to Bryce Young, so take away the comparisons, he really wasn't that bad. The most all-purpose yards in the season by a Chicago Bears quarterback, the 5th most passing yards in a season by a Chicago Bears quarterback ever, the best touchdown interception ratio by a first overall quarterback in NFL history. He also had the lowest interception rate for a quarterback in Chicago Bears history, and he holds the NFL rookie record for the most consecutive completions without an interception. And again, while the bar is low in Chicago because, they don't have a great history of quarterbacks, and while he probably hates the team, he did do all this while the front office was on fire, consistently juggling coaches and coordinators back and forth. So that takes me back kind of to my main point here. He did exceptionally well for a bad situation. I mean, look at Bryce Young, for example. People were already crucifying him and asking for a new quarterback, and I'm just gonna say I was one of those myself, unfortunately. I just believe people are spoiled to the talent we see nowadays, and they really want a superstar made in like the first 2 years. They want him to be throwing for 4,000 yards, leading to the playoffs. They have all these high expectations and just forget the fact that this is how a rookie should look. I mean, for fuck's sakes, do not be surprised if people already want to consider Caleb a flop and throw him out for the next guy. I mean, realistically, I need to see another year, especially under Ben Johnson. But for what I've seen last year, from the flashes to his mistake, it's a C+ in my books. Next up, we had Shaden Daniels at the number 2 selection. And when I say holy shit, I feel there's not enough words to describe this one. And this one, I would say I was happily correct about. To me, personally, I like Daniels much over Williams. You can ask anybody I talked to way before this draft. I didn't even have a channel. I would have said I wanted Daniels to go over Caleb Williams. Not saying he was bad, but Daniels had everything in him I liked. As a Crimson Tide fan, not only did I see Daniels beat our ass in overtime in one of the best games I've seen in recent years, but I saw most of his LSU run and was very impressed week by week, especially the game versus the Aggies in one of his last few weeks. I really wish, I kid you not, I had a channel 2 years ago, so it'd be so much easier to believe. But did I think he would prove me correct this quick? Absolutely not. I expected his success not to kick off till even his 2nd or 3rd season at the latest. If you told me at the 2024 draft after he was selected, Daniels will make the NFC Championship his first year, I would tell you your expectations are way too damn high. But looking back on it now, it's going to be an expectation every year as long as he's healthy. Daniels had a very outstanding rookie campaign. Hell, honestly, I think he's the best rookie quarterback in history, which is crazy to say because Stroud set that bar last year. Earning the Offensive Rookie of the Year award to nobody's surprise. I honestly think the Bengals game locked that one up. I mean, his poise, his accuracy, and athleticism stood out. 3,500 passing yards, 25 to 8 touchdown interception ratio, and nearly 900 yards of rushing. I could honestly go on for hours about it. I mean, call me a glazer, but I mean, how do you talk down a player who did everything perfectly and broke every expectation everyone gave him coming in? I know we pass the term generational around very often, considering the guy who went before him was getting the label as well, building up to this draft. But I think Daniels is very deserving of this and has lived up exactly to the name. Anything but an A+ is really just pure hatred at that point. I mean, I don't even know how you can hate him. Winner on the field, winner off it, very humble guy. I mean, the Commanders have it set. This is going to be a very fun team to watch for the next 5 to 8 years. Hell, probably even longer than that. Very high expectations for this team going into the next season, all because of this one pick. A+ in my books. Alright, next up we have Drake May. Let me just say, if there was somebody who was put in such a shitty situation his first year, it had to be May. Like, when I say Williams was in a tough spot, I believe New England was even worse. I mean, an O-line that couldn't even stop a cold, no good weapons. I mean, you can argue he had options, but compare any of those to the weapons the other rookie quarterbacks had, he had by far the worst. Even his running back room sucked ass. Like, he really had nobody to help him in the backfield. Legitimately every Sunday, for example, it was like the Bills versus Drake May and the rest of the guys. God forbid without May, they win one game tops. I'm just saying, look at the schedule. They win one game. And they didn't even win a lot. That's the worst part. It's just he was that much better of an effort on the field than Brissett was. And for the time he was given, besides his 2 concussions, which took him out a good amount of time, he was impressive and showed promise. Again, despite a lackluster roster, he managed well. His resilience and flashes of brilliance suggest a bright future as the Patriots franchise quarterback, which given New England hope after throwing away the last couple of years with zesty ass Mac Jones and Linsanity Ronell's Bailey Zapp. So, safe to say with how good May has to look compared to those 2 jackoffs and then whatever's left of Jacoby Brissett, it's an A-. And to those wondering why his grade is an A- with crappier stats compared to Caleb Williams, look at the hype coming into this draft. One player was dubbed the next Patrick Mahomes and the other was dubbed just another Mitch Trubisky. So yeah, expectations weren't really that high for May, but safe to say, he looks on the right track so far. And with Will Campbell coming in to give him a line finally, he should do so much better. A-. Alright, now we have Marvin Harrison Jr. and man, this one hurts to see. And it sucks because I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't hyped for this guy. My best friend is a Buckeyes fan, so all I had to hear every Saturday was how elite Marvin Harrison was. And again, I'd be lying if I said I didn't agree. Coming out of college, I thought he'd be one of the tops in no time. Hell, I thought his first season would look like a lot like how Neighbors looked. And I thought he would elevate this Cardinals offense to the next level. Now, honestly, I would take Neighbors over Harrison Jr. in a heartbeat. Maybe even Brian Thomas. Like, his rookie season was underwhelming to say the least. Not horrible, but not worth the hype he was getting either. A limited impact on the Cardinals offense that some weeks had me going, is Harrison Jr. even out there because of how little his presence was felt on the field? To me, expectations remain high, but we really need to translate some of that college success over to the NFL, like next season. I could say it might be the way Cardinals run their offense, but even then, I've seen receivers do better with worse options than like Kyler Murray. He's got Kyler Murray. I've seen Neighbors do it with guys like Drew Lock. So there really is no excuse to dismiss his mediocre season. Hopefully he bounces back because he's a talent I would really hate to see flop. But for now, based on his rookie season, I'm gonna have to give him a C+. Alright, next up we have Joe Alt for the Chargers. Look, Alt provided solid protection on the offensive line. I mean, the goal was to stop Hurt from getting back shots weekly. I mean, and he did a good job, allowing only 6 sacks and contributing to the Chargers passing game. While not as dominant as a lot of people hoped, it was good. Like, his performance was good enough for a rookie tackle, which I'm gonna admit, I questioned the selection at first, but going into his second year, seeing he's the best tackle from this class so far, it was a good choice and a much needed one. My only complaint at the time, and still somewhat of an issue, is them going tackle over one of the greatest tight end prospects in recent history, who, knowing what he will become on the Raiders, makes this pick age like fine wine. I would say Neighbors too, but getting Ladd later, who's an elite choice himself, makes that one okay. But Bowers is something you really will not find again for a damn while. So it's a pick that makes you wonder how this team would have looked if they went Brock Bowers. And then on top of that, they had Ladd later on to have those two as the top weapons for Herbert. However, with all working out so far and Herbert taking less sacks than usual, I can't say it's bad. I would just say with this pick, they went with a much larger need than the best available. Solid B+ to me. Alright, now we have Malik Neighbors. My analysis, he had a damn 1,200-yard season swapped between quarterbacks every 2 games. From Daniel Jones to Tommy Cutlets, Tim Boyle, even Drew Lock. Like, for a rookie to step into a system doesn't even have a solid quarterback and make these guys look as good as they did, that's a damn good receiver. Although I'm glad he's finally got a decent to above average option to Mr. Unlimited this season. Or even Jameis Winston. I know for a fact if Winston takes over at quarterback, he's getting 100 receptions easily. And whenever Jackson Dart is finally ready, him and Neighbors are going to be a duo for ages to come. See, the thing I like about this pick that still looks really good is he's easily in a position to become one of the best receivers in the next 2 to 3 years. I like the pick on draft night, and as of now, I still want to change a thing. This is a pick that sets up the offense's future nicely. Grade A pick. Alright, so now we have J.C. Latham. I'm going to say his rookie year was pretty damn solid. I'm going to say it was a giant success. He was definitely one of the better tackles. I think he's like top 3 or top 2 within the class. I mean, the way he was able to transition from college right tackle to NFL left tackle and still do it at a great level is just good itself. He started all 17 games and played every offensive snap. I mean, the only bad game I can remember would be his debut game, but besides that, he showed remarkable growth throughout the season, allowing only 4 pressures and 0 sacks over 3 games. And for the cherry on top, he secured a spot on the NFL All-Rookie second team. I mean, if this doesn't tell you how good his year was, then I don't know what is, but personally, if I had to grade, I'm going to give him a B+. I think definitely he has officially locked his spot as a cornerstone for the Titans offensive line in the future. Now we have the famous Michael Penix pick. Once again, this one caught me off guard. Came draft night, I think everybody else did too. Nobody was expecting this, I tell you. So, what I also say with this one is, he played 3 games. And in those 3 games, I did see the flashes, I will admit. He's got the potential, one of the nicest arms I've seen. And he's on a really talented team, so I have no doubt he'll be a B+ or A- pick in no time. But 3 games is something you really cannot give that high of a grade to, because again, it's 3 games. And even then, he had 3 picks in all of his starts, so he's a rookie who barely touched the field, so I cannot grade it too fairly. I wish he was named starter at the start of the season. They didn't pay Kirk in the offseason. This pick was in the plans all along. I still don't get it, but I'm glad they at least had the quarterback situation taken care of, because they were a team that was on the quarterback carousel for a good amount of time. For now, I'm going to have to give this just a solid C, but it's not like it's because of the talent. It's just I really did not get to see enough of Michael Penix. Next up, we have Rome Odunze. I'm going to say he was a reliable target. He showcased his route running and hands when given the opportunity, but here's the thing. He was the wide receiver 3 last year. I mean, being behind DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, it just means reps were going to be split, but I will say, he's got the potential. We'll have the chance to show more of that this season coming up, but as of right now, it's a B-. Like, when you take it into account that he went over someone like Brian Thomas Jr., who was a much better talent last year, I mean, you really have to just look at that and be like, damn. Bears could have had him. Like, you know, Brian Thomas is potentially one of the best in the class next to Neighbors. So knowing he could have been a Bear kind of stings. But like I said, Odunze isn't bad. He is solid. And we'll probably have a pop-off season this year now that Allen's out of the room and he'll slide in at wide receiver too. But based off his rookie season, for me, it's going to have to be a solid B-. Next up, we have JJ McCarthy. And if you need an actual reason for this one, then I don't know what to say. He didn't even play a snap this season. I mean, he looked good in the preseason, so I do have hope. I do think he's going to be great next year. But right now, it is a bit fair to grade what he is so far, so I'm just gonna give him a solid blank C. Alright, next up we have Olu Fosu. Well, to start this one off, injuries. Keyword injuries, and even then, he got to start as left tackle late into the season during week 11 following an injury to Tyron Smith, which I know he played before that, filling in for Morgan Moses, but that was at the right tackle position, which is not what he was drafted for. So when he got to start officially for his position, he was pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie, until he got hurt in week 16 against the Rams, suffering a season-ending injury. So to really sum it all up, he did good and was a bright spot. The scene definitely is promising towards the Jets' future if he could just stay healthy. For now, it's a C+. I think he definitely should have started the year, but that's just me, and to me, he's the future tackle for the franchise and will continue to do nothing but impress. Alright, next up we have Bo Nix, and I really want to know where the Knicks haters are now, because when I say I told people Nix was a good dark horse, I meant it. Same with Penix, and even going into this draft, I said Jackson Dart is a dark horse. Although, when you compare Nix and Penix, who I both had as dark horses, I thought Nix was the more complete package. I mean, 5 amazing years at college, especially his final year at Oregon, where he really impressed the hell out of me, with 4,500 passing yards and 45 touchdowns. Like, I kind of expected him to be a first rounder when people were saying he wasn't, and I really wasn't shocked when he got picked this high. And would you be damned if I said I wasn't shocked when he started to pop off? Again, I'm not a scout, so I ain't gonna say I predicted this. He could have easily been a flop, but I had a good feeling about him just by the way I saw him play in college. And well, to keep it short, he's been nothing but phenomenal, has broken all expectations everyone has attached to him. Notably, also has pulled Denver out of this quarterback carousel slump they've been riding since Manning left, and since then have found a future in Nix, who if he could stay healthy and if the team could surround him with talent, they're making the playoffs every year. And hell, honestly, might even win the division. My point is, he's good, and he's good enough to get an A-. And for the number 13, we got Brock Bowers, best tight end in the league, argue with a wall. Not a Raiders fan, a Chiefs fan, so it kind of pains me to see him select an absolute unit with Bowers, and for being one of the best tight end prospects in recent history, especially a dominant factor in Georgia's back-to-back national runs, he's done nothing but live up to this hype people gave him, and it's a joke he really fell this far. And I honestly bet you every team has already regretted not taking him themselves. The craziest part is he's only 22 and looks to only be getting better. Now that Vegas has an actually above average veteran in Geno Smith, Bowers is about to go crazy this year. This grade is an easy A+. Like, this is a pick that sets the offense straight for years to come if he remains healthy. Alright, now we got Tylis Fuaga. I pronounced that shit so wrong. Anyways, he's a stud and helped solidify the right side of the line last season, contributing both to the run and pass games, which yes, he did have his mistakes like allowing 6 sacks and 39 pressures, but it's also great to see the matchups he went against and how he was able to hold his own well, having more wins than losses versus the rusher, and while doing so managed to stay healthy, playing all 17 games a season. I mean, for being a tackle who barely gave up anything in college, he's pretty much carried it over to the league and looks to be a bright spot on the line, and adding Kelvin Banks from this year's draft to go on the other side should give whoever is the quarterback in that system the protection they need. To me, this is a solid pick. Alright, next up we have Laiatu Latu from UCLA. Well, I'm gonna say when he arrived at the Colts, he provided a consistent pass rush, leading the team in sacks, which for a rookie is amazing, and also leading in quarterback pressures, which again also backs my claim to say this pick was a giant success, and it seems Latu matched the hype coming out of college. So for me, all this is enough to really say there's not much to say here, and it's good enough to give the Colts a solid A. Alright, next up we have Byron Murphy the second, and yes, the second, not the first one. There's two of them in the league. They completely mixed me up, I don't know, somehow when typing this. Anyways, Byron Murphy the second had a solid, if not spectacular, rookie season with the Seahawks in 2024. He showcased promise as a pass rusher, ranking 3rd amongst rookie defensive tackles in pressures and 1st in pass rush win rate. He also made a positive impact in run game, contributing to the team's improved run defense. And I know some people will look at the stat sheet and say, oh, well, he didn't do that a lot, or, you know, his numbers aren't as high. His ability to disrupt plays and disrupt double teams was definitely something to take note of. I do definitely feel mixed up about it because it's like, while he did look great, while he did show flashes, he did have his inconsistencies, but at the end of the day, he's a rookie, and for a rookie, he looked really damn good, and he made a noticeable impact on the Seahawks defense. Byron Murphy the second gets a solid B-. Alright, next up, we have Dallas Turner, Roll Tide, and yeah, I will tell you, he didn't have much of an impact. And to say that's not a bad thing, it's not a bad thing, but you also have to remember where he went and the role he's playing. He wasn't meant to be picked and start right away, and would rather sit and develop behind all the veteran talent they had on this stacked defense already. So snaps are going to be limited, which is why I really cannot give this one a fair grade until he's in the starting position. But for the times I did see him out there, I will say he was decent and showed signs of promise. Hopefully Minnesota lets him showcase his talent more this year, but since this video is based on rookie seasons, if I did have to grade it, which again is unfair because he didn't play a lot, but if I had to give it something, I'm just going to give it a solid D+ for now. Alright, next up we have Amarius Mims, Cincinnati. Man, this guy was thrown straight into a fire coming into this team, which not a lot of tackles did well this year, and what I will say is he's about the only bright spot on that line. And yes, he struggled, but he's also held his own at a good level. My favorite highlights of his would have to be him against the Titans or even against Micah Parsons. Regardless, he did good in most of his matchups, so to sum up his rookie year would be solid. I believe there's definitely a ton of room for improvement, and when these issues of his are finally fixed, and if he can remain healthy, this pick is going to continue to age like fine wine, and people will see it was a great addition long term for the franchise. But for right now, I'm going to give Amarius Mims a solid C+. Next up, we got Jared Verse, and god dang it, somehow every pick for the Rams ages so damn good, and they become the next superstar overnight. And for Verse, he's just another name added to that list. Like, I kid you not, the Rams know how to pick a guy out, because damn, this guy's an absolute monster. Like, if there was a redraft for the 24 class, the guy's not touching anything lower than 15 and would honestly be in the top 10 talks easily. With Verse, the Rams added a much needed pass rush, a very talented one at best, recording multiple sacks and quarterback hurries. He's a pick I could talk about for the next few minutes, but just to sum it up, the energy he brings to this defense just makes him a cornerstone piece who is going to continue to impress for the rest of his rookie deal. I have no doubt he's going to make a jump next season, but definitely has already passed most expectations already attached to his name. Something about the Rams, man, they just know how to draft. For this one, this is a solid A- pick. Alright, next up we have Troy Fatanu for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this one sucks, honestly. It's like, you always hate to see rookie seasons get cut by injuries. And for Troy, he didn't even get to really start off his rookie season as most rookies would love to. He played one game and because of a knee injury was sidelined out through the remainder of the season. As much as I would like to say this is a B- or something, I really cannot grade it because, I mean, the guy played one game. He had a lot of potential coming into the league and still does, and I believe he's definitely going to do a lot better once he heals off this injury. But for now, I can't give him a really proper grade just because of the injury, and I haven't really seen too much of him in the NFL. So for right now, I'm just gonna give him a solid D+. Alright, next up we have Chop Robinson, and man, that is still one badass name. So his rookie year with the Miami Dolphins was a standout season that showcased his exceptional talent. Which of course, if you saw him at Penn State, you know the guy was pretty damn good. Like, it didn't really take long for him to make an impact at Miami, which I would say his impact was more felt later on towards the end of the season. He recorded 6 sacks, 26 total tackles, 14 quarterback hits over 17 games, earning him a spot on the Pro Football Writers All-American Rookie team. On top of that, a finalist position in Defensive Rookie of the Year, finishing 5th in voting. His explosive pass rushing ability was felt on the field as he amassed 56 quarterback pressures and 8 tackles for loss, demonstrating his disruptive presence on the defense. I definitely do think the Dolphins' first round investment on him was a solid pick. I mean, his performance only shown he's only going to continue to get better, and it establishes him as a cornerstone piece for this team's defensive future. For me, personally, I'm going to give him a B+. Alright, next up, we have Quinnen Mitchell, and holy, I have a lot to say about this one. I'm just saying, when a rookie has a damn list of victims with names on it, that sounds like something you would see on a veterans list like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, some of the best names in the league. And again, not only is it a giant list with a lot of good names, he's doing this as a rookie. That's a badass man. And as a betting man myself, I'll tell you, whenever I saw a star receiver going up against Mitchell, I always took the under. I mean, there's a stat that says he's one of 3 corners to play 500 snaps and not allow a single touchdown. Like, this is a lockdown menace. There's really a lot of other things I could say here, but all I could really just say is this is a brilliant pick. This is a pick that worked out so damn well in the first year, they would do it again every single time. I just don't get how we let the Eagles get players like these, but the Eagles know how to draft. That's not a damn lie. So for Philadelphia and Quinnen Mitchell, I'm going to get him an A-. Alright, next up we have Brian Thomas Jr. LSU strikes again at being the wide receiver U of college because damn they overdid it this year. Not only Neighbors having a great season and looking like a franchise piece, but now you got Brian Thomas Jr. who looks to be the 2nd best wide receiver in this class. Like, you gotta love to be the Jaguars here, striking a gem who should have not failed as low, which again, I don't know how he did. His final season at LSU was a damn masterpiece and his combine was really good too. And of course, to nobody's surprise, the pick worked out brilliantly. And then on top of that, you look into the future 1 year later, and now you get Travis Hunter in this year's draft. You give Lawrence 2 of the best weapons going in the next season. Like, I'm not the biggest Lawrence fan. I will tell you, I gave up on the guy, but I can't imagine how he would fail with these guys as receivers. So as long as the O-line does its job, this team can make a run. So to grade this pick, I would give it an A-. Alright, next up we have Terry and Arnold, Roll Tide, and I'm going to actually defend this pick and say he was not that bad. Some sites or just some people were out here giving this guy like a D-. When he's been asked to cover some of the best wide receivers in the league, they're quick to draw and say, oh, he's letting up touchdowns, he's drawing penalties, he's a fucking rookie. He's a rookie and he's only going to continue to develop. I mean, what do you expect really? He definitely did face some challenges adjusting to the NFL speed, which I would say, again, rookie mistake. I would say harshly judge the guy going in like maybe year 2 or 3, but year 1 you got to cut the guy some slack. I think eventually they're going to find a way to use him the correct way, and that's when he's really going to pop off. So personally for me, based off what I've seen this first season, I'm going to have to give him a solid C. Next up, we have Jordan Morgan for the Green Bay Packers, and I'm not really even going to sugarcoat this one. This pick was a giant disaster. Like, I mean, the dude couldn't stay healthy for shit. I mean, he was already facing a shoulder injury that forced him to miss most of his training camp in the entire preseason. Then when the shoulder injury is gone, he starts the season with 6 appearances, gets 1 start, then he requires season-ending surgery. I mean, I can't really even say this works out. When I say the word disaster, I don't mean the guy's a flop. I don't mean he's a bust. I'm not going to say it's an F, but I'm going to say it was just a bad year. Not the player, it's just bad situations, you know, injuries. Sometimes you just can't help it. A lot of people are hoping he bounces back in 2025, which I'm really hoping so too, because, you know, I never wish the bad for any player. But since I'm grading on rookie season and not the future and not the potential, I'm going to have to say straight up his year was a D. Alright, next up we have Graham Barton. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I don't know too much about this guy, or let alone I know too much about centers, but what I have seen from his college history, the guy's versatile. You know, he played left tackle 3 years at Duke, but during his freshman season at Duke, he was also a center. So coming into the league, he transitions at a center, and since then, he has been great for Tampa Bay. I mean, he provides flexibility, he did good enough, he stepped in, and he maintained solid play. I don't really know too much anything else to really grade him on because, again, he's a center. I don't know too much about that position. All I know is as long as they can protect, help in the run game, it's good enough. But based on what I've seen online and what I've seen just hearing around from Tampa Bay fans, he's good enough. So for me, that's good enough to give him a solid B. All right, next up we have Darius Robinson for the Arizona Cardinals. This one's a C+. Really, I'm going to keep this one short. He did not play a lot. He really did not play at all. I mean, if you look at it, he had like 4 solo tackles. If anything, I think he was just sitting and developing. That's really all I can say from this one. So yeah, C+. He showed potential in the snaps he got, but it really was not enough to say anything else. All right, next up we have Xavier Worthy. As a Chiefs fan, personally, I'm going to give him an A-. I mean, in this season, he shined thoroughly. Once Rice was injured and with Brown being out the entire season, it was pretty much his up for grabs, and he did not fail at delivering. Coming up big in both our playoff wins and just being a large asset all season long, giving us one of the best speed options in the league. I expect a larger jump next season, but even then, if he can at least produce or just redo this exact season next year, I'll take it. Especially with a healthy Rashee Rice and Hollywood coming back along with Jalen Royals, so safe to say, this pick worked out very well for our team. A-. Alright, next up we have Tyler Guyton. I'm gonna say this one's a flop. Like, no offense to any Cowboys fans, but y'all have to realize that this one was not it. I mean, the guy had a very disappointing year to say the least, especially for a first round pick. This was really damn disappointing. I mean, you can look at this pick a lot of ways and say how he failed. Maybe from the injuries, the high ankle sprain, the neck injury, shoulder injury, or maybe the fact he's playing the wrong position. The guy was a right tackle in college. Why is he a left tackle in the league? And even then, he draws penalties like a kid with a fucking crayon. I'm just saying, like, when you rank the second worst out of every tackle in the league, I don't know what to say at that point. I think the guy definitely has his inconsistencies. He struggled a lot with pass blocking. He allowed a lot of pressures. Allowed 5 sacks. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. So really, if I had to sum it up, I'll just say it was very challenging for him, at least what it looks like. I think he definitely needs to improve a lot in the offseason. I think he's got the room for development. I can't say if he's going to be around long term, but I hope they at least give him the chance to try and develop and get better. But overall, if I had to grade it, I'm going to give it a D. I think definitely could bump up, but for what I've seen in his rookie year, no, it is a D. If not, even that feels generous. But yes, I'm going to have to give it just a D for now. Next up, we have Nate Wiggins, and I'm going to be honest, I did like this guy going into the draft, and I still do. I think he was one of the better prospects at the corner position, and I'm glad he's getting somewhat the attention he deserves. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, they should have went Cooper DeJean. I mean, Nate Wiggins is going to be a great talent himself. I mean, he showed promise in coverage. He contributed well to the Ravens secondary with solid performances. I believe definitely he's going to show up a lot more next year, and I believe he's going to play a much bigger role. So if I had to grade how his rookie year looks so far, I'm going to have to give him a solid B. All right, so next up, we have Ricky Pearsall, who was great, especially in this game against Detroit where he showed up huge. That or the Tampa game was my personal favorite, but besides that, he was solid. I mean, for the season he put up, especially after recovering from the incident in August, where thank God he survived. Like, I'm glad the guy is playing back at top effort and hoping he honestly makes a huge leap next season now that the depth chart looks a little more cleared out. Like, now that the Niners got rid of Debo, hopefully this will present some more opportunities for him next year. But again, he's with the Niners. It's a good system that knows how to feed their guys, so I'm confident Pearsall is going to eat next season. This grade could definitely bump up, but for now, I'm going to have to give him a C+. And finally, to end it off, we have Xavier Legette. Typical rookie struggles, but he shows potential to be an amazing wide receiver 2 or 3 in the future. I'd say 2 or 3 because they got Ted this year. And they're most likely going to use him as the big and rely on him as the one. And, you know, with Adam Thielen still kicking around and still somehow putting up great stats, I think Legette's definitely going to either slide in at the 2 or the 3. Before what I saw, I liked it. I definitely had him on my sleeper radar going into this draft because of how solid he was at South Carolina. I think he could bump his grade up in the future, but for now, as I saw in the rookie season, I'm going to have to give him a C. Like I said, I see the potential, but rookie season-wise, it wasn't much to wow me to say he's anything greater than a C. And that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching another random recap. Yeah, basically, I just wanted to go through this class 1 year later because I think definitely a lot of players changed, and I wanted to just give my thoughts on how the players are doing now. Like I said, it was their first season, so a lot of the grades are bound to change anyways. This video was made more for fun purposes than it was to actually be taken serious, which if you did take it serious, just know I am not a professional by all means. I tried my best, and this was all just my personal opinion. Anyways, I will see you all in the next random recap.